Welcome to Caribbean Focus. Caribbean Focus is the community voice of the Caribbean Research Center at Medgar Evers College, the weekly radio program highlighting Caribbean educational, cultural, and social affairs airs on WNYE 91.5 FM and streaming live on Facebook at Caribbean Focus CF. I am your host, Hermina Marcellin, and joining us today is Jamaican-born entrepreneur Dominic Christopher. Welcome, Dominic, to Caribbean Focus.
Thank you so much, Hermina, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here in your presence.
Thank you so much. You, sir, are the creator of Deh Abroad Corporation, and immediately the name is reminiscent of Jamaican patois, hearing the day. So may you share with us the meaning behind the name?
Sure. So, yes, I am one of the co-founders of Deh Abroad Village. The name Deh most definitely will resonate to more Jamaicans, but because we wanted to be more of a diaspora organization and even the capability of expanding to become more Pan-African, we did few research and noticed that it is from African dialect, West Africa. And we also did few research that, other islands, other Caribbean, folks for the West Indies, for example, Guyana, they say they are, ease away. So a few other islands, definitely use the word they, but Jamaicans, it's mostly recognized in the Jamaican patois.
So again, with this definition, what exactly is Deh Abroad Corporation?
Sure. So with the name, it's a concept that once you're outside of the Caribbean, you are abroad. So we wanted to focus on an identity that say, okay, I haven't seen Hermina since high school. Hermina Deh Abroad, she's away. And it's also a pride where it's a sense of excellence that you land your biggest client, and it's like say, wow, I feel good, Deh Abroad, I make it. A lot of folks who migrate, that's not a word that they won't always use. Okay, I made it. So it's like I said, okay, my Day abroad, I'm in the diaspora and I made it here. So it's just a sense to identify that, folks are migrated into the diaspora, and also a pride where that you feel like you can use it as a phrase to say, okay, you've accomplished something being overseas.
How does the corporation connect with other Caribbean businesses around the world?
Sure. So we utilize a lot of resources that are available, and including Medgar Evers. I know we'll go into that further, but we have over 900 businesses, professional businesses on the platform, which is global. Our target is traveling to different cities, traveling to different countries, and letting people know face to face as to what Deh Abroad is. And at that point, what our goals are for the community. And, we brand it globally to say that, okay, we want to be a conduit between the community, between the businesses, between other organizations as to how we can utilize data in order to connect the different groups that exist. Globally, we utilize social media is definitely a strong reach as well, where we try to connect most folks. So the unique thing about it is that trying to connect globally is we focus on what Deh Abroad is about, creating jobs, searching for businesses, looking for housing, and anything that necessary necessity that people would need in the diaspora.
Could you delve into the internship opportunities available to students in college?
Sure. Can I give a background of that as well?
Definitely.
So I came here on a student visa, and at one point there were some issues. I was out of status, I would say maybe for 2 years. And while I was here and studying at CUNY, I went to CUNY as well. I wasn't able to get any opportunities because I was out of status. A lot of folks, didn't want to hire me. So while I was studying accounting, I was actually washing cars. And even like a rainy day like today was like the worst days of my life because no car wash, no money, right? So studying at CUNY, washing cars, and it was like devastating. So one of the things that changed my life was the professor did okay on his class, and he gave me an opportunity. He's non-Caribbean, he's from Greece, and he gave me an opportunity to be in Wall Street, and that was like my first internship opportunity. There was no questions asked about any issues about my status. I did the SEC background check, and I passed it. So I said, God, thank you, God, thanks God, this is where I'm supposed to be. So just to fast forward, like my life has changed, and I just reminisce on those days where I needed the opportunity, but just to find the right folks, the right businesses to provide it was an issue. So the internship, is a very important piece because we want to create wealth. As a Medgar Evers is one of the largest, maybe the largest um, college in terms of say Caribbean immigrants. So we, based on the history, I wanted to create an opportunities for students who are here now that they don't have. It's on a continued trend that they're going to go through the situation that I've been through and others been through as well. So we want to, because we're listing the businesses and we're not charging the business to be on the platform. We're saying, okay, you're an attorney, you're a doctor, please provide an internship opportunities to students um, within the diaspora. So what we are doing so far is reaching out to CUNY, reaching out to Medgar Evers and other colleges as to how we can partner and provide opportunities for students on campus based on their major. So it's a step just to be a conduit. It's not a loss for us, always a gain. The fact that we can actually provide opportunities. So we connect the businesses directly, we connect the colleges directly with the businesses, the professional businesses that we have on our platform.
And actually, that was my follow-up question in looking at your personal challenges and how that connect with your interest in creating opportunities for students, and how have been, if you look at the feedback from your opportunities, giving opportunities to students, how have that been received?
It has, I, it's very, folks have been, both businesses and the students have been, very receptive for the opportunity. And, we started it where we had zero funding. It was strictly out of pocket and, just to provide opportunities. Like, for example, um, we have students who, even from Medgar Evers, we surprisingly, we did a program back in 2019. That's when we actually started first. And we connect students with electoral officials, but they weren't able to provide a stipend. So even for us to say, you know what, at least to provide them with a Metro card, that would be awesome. So just imagine that, a student from any island, St. Lucia, Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad, and you're able to walk into the consulate, just to be in that space, just to experience it, just to see that, okay, you matter, just to experience that, you're in the age of social media and, you can take a selfie, you can take a photo and just showcase that, you know what, I'm here. Like I'm in a space where based on the energy, it gives me a lot of opportunity to grow and to leave Brooklyn to go to Manhattan, to go to different to cities, to work in a corporate office. Just that experience, definitely the students actually benefit. So the business community also, been very receptive, especially that they're not actually getting random interns, but the fact that they're getting interns based on their profession, and most of them actually see those interns as where they were, a few years back, and see it definitely as an opportunity, not just to focus on internship, but also have these students as mentees as well.
Speaking on keywords such as business and funding, how much of your knowledge in investment goes into what you do?
Wow. Right now, 100%. So when we started it, I had my full-time career. My business partner has, he currently has his full-time career. COVID, COVID, I was laid off for a while, and COVID actually, during the pandemic, it opened up my eyes to actually take this on full-time. Especially, during the pandemic, we couldn't really offer like discounts and incentives to the businesses because, they're trying to find a way out to people through the pandemic. So just to even focus more on the restaurants is where, pretty much dive into their industry and see pretty much where how they've been suffering. So that actually for the past 2 years took up a lot of time because now I get to learn about enforcement issues, writing letters, speaking to folks, going to the SLAs, any issues that they have, could be distributors. Everything was backed up at the wharf, so it became a seller's market. So just to negotiate with, different food vendors as to how, restaurants within the Caribbean community can actually benefit. So like for now, it became a full-time career. Um, I've learned, we have a project manager as well, where we focus on, connecting and, getting more procurement as to how, we could pretty much continue the work. So it pretty much became a full time, and it's something that I love. What I love about it is that it's not a 9 to 5, very flexible. Somebody, a restaurant, a business owner, they finish work, right, and they're tired. Like myself and the team with the school, we kick back, play domino, and just hear about their stories and like how they can help. But so being at work 24 hours, 18 hours a day, it became a full time career now.
And how important is investing, and what can you share with us about investing?
Investing, what type? Uh, Investing in the company, investing in the diaspora.
Investing in the diaspora, especially considering your background with Wall Street and dealing with investments.
Oh, investment. Okay, trade investment. Uh, yeah. So it is. It is still. I want to consider it a new. I want to consider like a new take in the community because most folks, especially they're most. I won't say they're small business. I would say mostly mom and pop businesses. There's not really much talk about investment, especially also investing in the mom and pop businesses in our community. Few of the things that I give an example, so it's a funny joke, right? Most of the businesses in the community, they think there are, I don't know if you watch Ozark, they probably think they're Marty Bird or Bernie
Yes,
Madoff or something, right?
yes.
So they will say, um, they will have their company and say, Deh Abroad LLC, but they're thinking that because they have LLC in their name and
Mm.
register as a DBA, they think they're actually a LLC, right? And in terms of investment, majority of the businesses so far that we saw on our platform are DBAs and LLCs. So we're trying to educate them that I get it, but you don't want to be sued for, for you don't want to sue personally for your personal assets, but we're trying to educate them where to focus more and become more like a S corporation where you can now start attract investors and create a better opportunity to grow because what they're only looking at is that I want to protect myself or I'm not going to register the company. And with educating, okay, the first thing, register your business because everything that you collect based on debit or credit, at least you can use those, you can use those revenue to even like cover any expenses that you guys have.
Mm.
As it relates to investments, I said they're mostly mom and pop. They're not. Most of them don't really come from a business background. Majority don't come from a business background, so they never really had that education or that information prior to starting their business. So it's something that we're currently is currently ongoing right now that we could actually set up the businesses that it could be branded more lucrative that we can actually attract more investors to invest in the community.
And you mentioned about using resources like Medgar Evers College. Are there any current and or future plans to work specifically with the Caribbean Research Center?
Yes. So I've met the great um, Dr. Michael Flanagan, and who pretty much introduced me to Ken Bramble, Ken Ash Bramble, and over the past few months we've been having extensive conversation as to how we can actually partner. So what we're doing at Deh Abroad is not that fully unique or strange to the community. I mean, we're just able because we do have an app. We're background in data science, data analysts. So having extended conversation with the Caribbean Research Center, we have seen ways that we could definitely partner in few projects. Um, I'm grateful for the fact that we have signed the MOU, and because June is Caribbean American Heritage Month, we have started a few projects. The first one working in collaboration with is on our path is we're doing a business expo at the Flatbush Caton Market. That's on June 11th, and we've invited Medgar Evers to become one of the key partners. The main focus of it is definitely to showcase the different professionals that we have in Flatbush and East Flatbush of Caribbean descent, that we can showcase the diversity of businesses in our community. And definitely the entire aim is to encourage folks both of Caribbean descent and those who love the Caribbean culture to come and shop local. And the reason to shop local, we have done a few surveys, and crime wasn't the main concern for the businesses and the consumers. It is more of sanitation. So because crime is not a major concern, at least that makes us even feel much better, where we can continue to focus on reducing the rate, that we can have more folks come and shop local in Flatbush. So having Medgar Evers a staple in the community, that's also a benefit. We're also be doing Immigration Day, a Citizenship Day workshop for folks who have a green card and eligible for pathway. We're working with a few attorneys who are going to be offering pro bono service. Reached out to Medgar Evers Research Center, and Mr. Bramble was excited at the fact that to work together, because having our folks in the community eligible to vote, that's definitely the pathways where their voice starts to matter, and we can have more votes, more numbers in terms of votes in the community, that our people actually have a voice, and it matters.
We are abroad and they are abroad. What about your immediate community in Jamaica? Are there any connections between the Deh Abroad Corporation here in New York and, let's say, Jamaica?
Not really, and because we branded as a Caribbean organization, right? And one of the challenges that we wanted to focus primarily within the diaspora, as that majority of the other diaspora organization focuses on the Caribbean, right? It could be fundraising, it will go to the Caribbean, and it could be sports, education, it goes to the Caribbean. We do have folks here like, single mom, sometimes, single dad as well. Sometimes they're out of status. They could be qualified for government assistance. They don't know. And, like there are quite a few folks in our community don't really know where the next meal is going to come from. There are a lot of folks that, having issues with housing. There's a lot of folks that, have talent and can find, eligible way in terms of, say, making to earn an income. So that's what we pretty much try to focus on right now, because there's definitely a need here for us. Sometimes, could be Jamaica, could be St. Lucia, whichever island, you'll have your folks work hard doing home care and save all their money, bring it back home. So, okay, they want to start a new life when they go back home. And, things start to get better here. They start to travel. You go back, there's no house. Your cousin give you so many excuses. So the main focus is like we're trying to educate our folks, especially with investment, and also we're investing a home here, invest in a car, invest in stocks, bonds, whichever the case may be, so that you can create assets here that if you want to go back home, at least try to refinance your house, and don't move. You don't have to be forced to go back to your community, which you pretty much run away from. But you could actually go and set up yourself in your home country. So, the main focus of us is just about focusing on creating wealth here. We do partner with different organizations that give back to the Caribbean, but our main focus is actually here because we're not telling folks to come here and then we're going to take care of all your issues. But once they're here, we want to focus on just being a conduit that we can assist the community on the necessary needs that they have.
You mentioned that Deh Abroad Corporation is a social platform that connects Caribbean businesses around the world, in addition to what you explained about internship opportunities to students. So could you give me a scenario of how someone would go about utilizing Deh Abroad?
Sure. So as a social platform, online platform, and we focus on the businesses, most times folks might think that we are a chamber of commerce. We're not. Finding businesses, supporting the community is definitely what we focus on, where we encourage folks to support us. In terms of social, we do utilize, we do have a strong web presence, and we've also created an app for Deh Abroad Village. So on it, once you're on the app, the great thing about it, it picks up your location. Picks up your location and pretty much shows you all the businesses that's closest to you, to where you are. And growing, all the businesses, they have access where they can actually go in and access their portal and post any necessary information that they will need for their presence. So it's more of, most folks will pretty much be familiar with like a Yelp or a Manta, but Deh Abroad Village is more tailored to our community. We've never added which country a business owner is from. Our concept is one Caribbean. Once you see a business on it, they've been fully vetted, and they're from the region, and we want you guys to support. So being in New York, Jamaica has a majority. Being in Los Angeles, Belizeans and Jamaicans have the majority, but someone from St. Vincent, they should feel at home when they're searching for someone on Deh Abroad Village. So the platform lists different industries. We also break it down that if you're searching for a doctor, break it down, you probably need a podiatrist, probably need a cardiologist. Those are the type of services that, because we have in the community, it's not only intern medicine. There's so many professionals that exist. So we want, to promote those businesses and, definitely have members of the diaspora, go to the platform and feel comfortable that they're going to support. It's the same thing, just to touch on it, is that, for example, attorneys, most concerns our people have are, immigration, real estate, and also immigration, real estate, and landlord and tenant. So you want to find the best competent attorney that can handle your immigration issues. So we list them based on their main specialty. Even at times, it's more of a boutique law firm, but you can actually search for the professionals based on the type of legal matter that you have.
Thank you so much for that explanation. And you mentioned about doing the surveys and looking at the different, you mentioned crime being not one of the issue, but more so sanitary wise, right? So are there other surveys that you conduct that reveals certain aspects about the community?
Yes, definitely. So as it relates to sanitation, it's more of, so what we noticed that there's quite a few folks who've been incarcerated doing community service. They would pretty much clean up the corridors. They have to because it's bagged. And say, for example, now like 5:26, 4 o'clock, the garbage are out, and not it's going to be staying there until the commercial guys actually come like at 9 o'clock at night. So just imagine there's so many times where the breeze, it could be rodents that rip the bags. It's a windy day. Things are pretty much blowing all over. So like those are issues that actually affect us. And clear sanitation, we've added say beautification, whereas that most folks need I forgot the term where you could be in the middle of say like Church Avenue and or Rogers Avenue, like this, like a street where you can actually sit down, relax, get something to eat, and um, those are what folks need. In terms of beautification and say transportation as well, is where it doesn't make sense. I don't know why, all the bus stops exist and there's no shelter. Doesn't make sense. Um, Snow, rain, heat, folks actually, they're suffering. So those are things that, those are the concerns. We've definitely reached out to DOT and, definitely going to write a letter to MTA as to how we can definitely address these issues. In terms of say more trees as well, those are things that we definitely need more plants in the community along the corridor that can assist because most folks walk along the corridor so that, the humidity doesn't really affect them. That's a key thing that we're definitely working on. It's a large minority community. We're working also where we have one of the issues, we have more of the businesses being registered as MWBE. MWBE minority women in business. It's a certificate, especially for contractors, that they can start to once they qualify, and we assist with the qualification that they can start to bid for city and state procurements. But yeah, there's so many concerns, especially transportation. There's a lot of double parking on the streets. The buses don't run that frequently, as fast as possible. We'd definitely love to have more parking lots in the community. Definitely to encourage more people to come and shop and don't have to rush to do their shopping.
So the way that your corporation would work is identifying all of these issues and writing to the necessary departments. How would that work specifically?
Yeah, writing, advocating. Because the key thing is definitely to focus on substance. And for us, it's not the first to write, but as I said, the challenge that we have is that we don't trust each other as Caribbean folks. Everyone, listen, no, we have a as a culture, we have a crab in a barrel mentality, and it affects us, in our personal, on our business lifestyle as well. So we want to focus on being a credible organization. So writing doesn't help because there's going to be excuses from the different agencies. So we try to focus more on advocacy and more outreach, and do the research to see what resources are available, and definitely utilize it within the community because they do exist. It's just that it's not being implemented in our community. So we do write and get access to it, and then definitely provide it to the businesses.
I want to thank you, Dominic. May you please provide contact information for those who want to find out more about your corporation?
Sure. So we try to make it easy. We have a toll-free number, and which is able to reach on WhatsApp as well. It's 877 Deh Abroad. DEHABROAD 877 Deh Abroad. Once you Google, type in Deh Abroad, you'll see the work that we're doing, and on social media, everything is at DEH Abroad. So we try to make it as easy for people to find us abroad.
Thank you so very much, Dominique. It was a pleasure having you on the show, and I wish you much success in all that you do in continuing to be an outreach and support for the community.
Thank you so much, Madam Professor Hermina.
Thank you so much. And please be safe in the rain. This just, I guess, showers of blessings, right? But it came
I
so
know,
unexpectedly.
I know. See, I know I got trapped in the car, so my sincere apology.
No, that's fine. That is fine. That was perfect. Thank you so much, Dominic, once again. And I look forward to having you back on the show. Thank you to my viewing and listening audience for tuning in. This has been Caribbean Focus. Thanks for listening and watching. Be well.